of Game 3. Why so serious? Nikola Jokic came to work looking ready to go. Then had a rough game. That's the thin man, Chet Holmgren, and the Thunder up 14-8. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander pulls from inside the free throw line. It's a 16-8 Thunder advantage. In the second, Nuggets down 3. Michael Porter Jr. is a spectacular shooter, buries the 3, game tied at 32. Good find here on the bounce pass from Isaiah Hartenstein to SGA, knocks that down. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander here, good find. Lou Dort and the Thunder led by 5 at the break. Given that Jokic had played poorly, that perhaps might bode well for the home team. This man has been burying threes at a big-time clip. Aaron Gordon has the Nuggets within 1. Then it's Porter Jr. again. Jokic down low, turns, and Denver has the lead. AC Fresh joins the chat. Alex Caruso had a couple of threes in a row. Thunder up 3. What a shot from Murray here. Flips it up. 1-point game. Now it's SGA on the attack. Step back baseline. That's nasty. 3-point game heading into the 4th. Thunder leading by 1. Jalen Williams was spectacular. Had a playoff career high. Challenge there, as every shot seemed to be throughout this game, and he hits. Williams again with Gordon. What a great hesitation to create a little space. Once again, OKC back up 2. We're tied at 97. Murray working on Holmgren. Got to create space to get it over the length of that wingspan. Nuggets up 2. SGA, Williams. Give me all 3 of these. He had 32, and the Thunder have the lead. Under 40 seconds to go. You see Gordon floating alone on the baseline. Holmgren tries to close it out, gets there too late to stop it. Gordon ties the game at 102. On the other end, Shai, Christian Brown, great defense. The Nuggets get the rebound, call a quick timeout. Jokic, 0 of 11 from 3 in the game. That one would have won it. It does not. 5 more minutes on the clock in overtime. The Thunder offense was stagnant. Jokic, that little finger roll rolls in. Murray finds Porter Jr. Bottoms, big time hit. The lead now 5. On the other end, look at the quick hand here. Murray gets the rip in transition. Behind the back, hangs, hits with the left hand. He had 27. And one last bucket from Gordon on the baseline. That's a little closer than the 3 he hit. Gordon contributing in a big way to this victory. He visited with George Sedano afterwards.
Aaron, you guys come off a blowout loss. You come here, you get this victory. What was the message between games?
Well, we went out to OKC and kind of did what we needed to do. You know, we got home court advantage back. Obviously, you never want to get thumped like that and blown out like that, but we knew we had to come back here and protect the crib, up our level of physicality and play without fouling.
And then you guys have championship medal on this roster. You guys have won a championship. You're up now 2-1 in this series. What does your experience mean in a series like this?
It's big. I mean, we don't get rattled, and we know what we're trying to get to. We know, exactly what we're trying to get to as the time winds down, like the time and the score. We know what our intent is.
And then lastly, another huge shot for you down the stretch, man. I think we need to call you playoff Gordon here at this point. Like, what is it like in those moments when you're getting those opportunities?
When they had that comeback, he was the player of the game. Solely on what he did and how he guarded Jaren Jackson Jr., deflections, loose balls. They have so many options. They're so versatile. And then you talk about the chemistry with Isaiah Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren. Look, I'm never going to disrespect Jokic. Jokic is going to get his numbers. But if I'm the Oklahoma City Thunder, and I've been sitting back and if I'm watching that series, I'm watching the way Big Zubac played against Jokic. I've never seen someone guard him individually on that level like I did. And I think Isaiah Hartenstein has the capability to do the same thing. You're never going to stop Jokic, right? He's still going to walk out the game with a 21, 25-point triple-double. But canceling out everybody else, OKC has the personnel to do that.
I completely agree with you, Big Perk, on that. That's where I'm at with this series, Swagoo. I see OKC winning it in 6. I think that Denver has gone through a lot of changes. Obviously, Mike Malone is no longer there as the coach. You're looking at their absence of depth. We've been applauding Russell Westbrook, who's been absolutely great for them. The Energizer Bunny never cheats you with effort and heart, always there. He's a Hall of Famer in that regard alone, as far as I'm concerned. But then you got to look at what Oklahoma City brings to the table, the acquisition of Hartenstein and obviously Caruso in the offseason. Pairing that front line, Hartenstein with Chet Holmgren, who can ball, by the way, and we need to give him a lot of love, which Perk has never hesitated to do. Then I've talked about Jalen Williams and how he needs to really, really be that dude, because SGA was balling last year in the postseason when they lost to Dallas. He just didn't have the requisite help that he needed. This year, he's led the league, led the NBA, averaging, 32.7 points per game. Look at this stat right here in terms of his shooting splits this season. 52% from the field, 50% from mid-range, which was 4th in the NBA, 37.5% from three-point range, 90% from the free throw line. And this is the dude that has the ball in his hands most of the time for OKC. And then in every statistical category that matters defensively, they've been leading the league. I just think it's a bit too much for Denver, and I think that Denver could definitely win a couple of games, but OKC should win this series in 6 games, Swagoo. I'll give you the last word on this subject.
I understand what y'all saying, but the 6 games throw me for a loop, because you don't think the Nuggets can steal one and push this to a 7-game series? Like, that's the only, I understand what you're saying, but that's the validity that I think Nikola Jokic is that good, where they can find a way in a close game late in one of these games where he can figure it out. And 2, we don't talk about this enough. And I understand that we named everybody on OKC team's name. The size in which Aaron Gordon plays with in these playoffs got to matter. He is going to be a factor in this series, whether that's on the glass, whether that's being around the rim. And I know we mentioned Hartenstein and we mentioned Chet. And I know Chet is playing well, a 7-footer that can, but the physicality of Aaron Gordon, I think, is going to matter as well. And he's been playing some phenomenal minutes for the Denver Nuggets in these playoff series. I just think we're enamored with OKC, and we know why. Perk, you mentioned it. Defensively, a team that is hell on wheels at running people off the three-point line and creating. I think the Denver Nuggets, around that basket with Nikola facilitating,